The failure of Concord is truly one of the most hilarious things we have seen since the failure of the Acolyte, which I know. It's almost like these woke failures are just happening so rapidly that there's really no time to process how quickly they are failing. But the Concord situation, if you're not aware, Concord is a game that reportedly cost up to $250 million to develop. It took 8 years, and it didn't even last 2 weeks before Sony decided to do something unprecedented and pull the game from existence, refund everybody, pull it offline, and it's all because it was a complete and total woke disaster. Now you have the developers melting down and playing the fake victim online every single time. This is how it plays out every single time. Thank you, team. We made something awesome. Concord developers mourn the failed FPS that PlayStation pulled the plug on after just 14 days. And yeah, right here, this Concord devs crying because they wasted 8 years making some gay shit game that didn't last 12 days. Hero Hey has a really good video on this, so we're gonna watch this. He kind of goes over some of the tweets. If you don't know about Hero Hey, great channel. I've had him on the channel a long time ago, and he does really great work over on his channel.
Just under 30 minutes ago, Concord announced that the servers are now officially all offline. However, things don't quite end there just yet. That takes us to this post over on Reddit titled, "Allegedly, senior concept artists for Concord are going through an extremely difficult time, and some might no longer want to work in games or design characters after this."
Well, let me tell you, that is the greatest news I think I have ever heard. So some of the developers don't want to work in games or design characters after this. Well, if you saw any of the designs for Concord, you would know that the people that were designing them truly do not belong in this industry at all. So that's good news as far as I'm concerned.
So we're going to take a look at a number of tweets that allegedly come from Amanda Kiefer. Before we do, let me give you all the context here. Amanda Kiefer is a senior concept artist over at Firewalk Studios, which is, of course, the studio behind Concord. Now, it looks like she's in protected mode. However, it seems like one of her confirmed followers actually leaked the messages. And
of course, she is. Between protected mode and turning off replies to tweets, I think that should be something that you have to be a Twitter Blue subscriber if you're going to actually do that. I think Elon should implement that, where if you're going to go protected, and if you're going to go, replies, turn off your replies, you have to be a Twitter Blue subscriber. I said that about 3 weeks ago over on Twitter, and of course the usual suspects were really, really mad that I brought that up as a friendly suggestion.
And posted them over on Reset Era. And she was seemingly responding to this person who said, "Kinda want to try to redesign one of the Concord characters, not to fix art or any pretentious BS, just as an experience to see if I can find where it went wrong in the designs. Also, it sounds like a fun thing to draw. I love GOTG looking stuff." I'm just assuming that stands for Guardians of the Galaxy, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think they look great as background characters in the movie or something. They're just missing the hero part.
I mean, they're missing a lot. And the character designs, again, for Concord were truly horrendous. And the where it went wrong was the people that they hired to do it. That's where it went wrong, because from the beginning of the creation, that was the point, was to push identity politics. And when I'm going to sound like a broken record, but when identity politics is at the forefront of the project that you are creating, everything else is going to suffer. That is just how it works. There is a template for that in every piece of media where wokeness has been at the forefront and identity politics has been at the forefront. You're going to suffer everything else. Character development, story, creating a good game, creating a game that wants to make people come back in a very competitive market already.
Yeah, the part that's pretty important for a hero shooter. They look like background characters. That's pretty funny. All right, with that context, let's take a look at this set of messages allegedly from Amanda Kiefer responding to that artist whose tweet we just read. "I was going to DM you after seeing this, but this site makes me pay to do that. So at the risk of getting dogpiled, I'm just going to say this here.
This site makes me pay to do that." See, that's my point. Already with the Elon hate. This site makes me pay to do that. See, make them pay for all of this stuff. Make them do it just to spite them at this point.
A lot affected the art side of Concord, including design by committee, failure of some leadership to listen to the art team, etc. The character concept art team, including myself, is going through an extremely difficult time emotionally, and some of the team no longer want to work in games, design characters, or even do art anymore after this. Because of this, posts like yours, though understandable, are unfortunately ill-timed. None of us know which way the wind will blow with the studio. We are worried sick and terrified of the future. Not only that, but we have been shouldering the brunt of the emotional labor as executives/directors dodge most of the blame. Behind the scenes of all this talk about Concord and character designs, people's livelihoods are at risk. And there are very real financial consequences that might hurt us even more.
People's livelihoods are at risk. You're the same people that go on these cancel mob campaigns, but you want to talk about people's livelihoods being at risk. Again, I have to preface this. I am not encouraging anyone to go after anyone involved in any video that I've ever made in the history of me making videos, including this video. I have to put that out there because you have people on social media that are willing to lie and twist and manipulate literally every single thing that I've ever said. So I have to put that out there just for clarification. This is meant for me to give my commentary on this particular issue and talk about this particular person and how out of touch with reality that they truly are. You had 8 years to make a video game with $250 million on the budget reportedly, and you're crying and playing the victim when it failed in an unprecedented way. We have never seen something in the history of video games fail so quickly. We have never seen a video game company pull the plug after, what was it, 12 days, 10 days on a project like this. We've never seen it. That should tell you everything you need to know, that, yeah, you probably shouldn't be in this industry because you have shown that even with 8 years and $250 million, you could not produce something that anyone gave a damn about.
That's just what I can say from our point of view. I'm not saying change course or anything. Us artists like being able to use social media to promote our work and get more jobs, but I'm saying we see this, and it does absolutely affect us, since we just got our teeth kicked in. Okay, so if those messages are indeed true, then here's my thoughts. I do agree that the executives, the directors, the suits at the top should not be dodging most of the blame. Clearly, they all wanted this sort of like modern audience approach for Concord that ended up being a terrible decision, and that of course would reflect on the character design team that they hired. At the same time, for all I know, a lot of the character design team may have also wanted to take that approach and had no issue with it. There's really a lot of context that we don't know about. And it does...
Well, like I've said many times, leadership matters. Leadership matters. So when you have someone like Rian Johnson who works on episodes of Breaking Bad and he does a phenomenal job, it's because leadership matters. Then you have that same Rian Johnson that works on The Last Jedi and you don't have any real leadership at Lucasfilm. So leadership matters. But you hired these people knowing that they were going to push their political propaganda because that's what they do. That's their entire livelihood. Look at the tweets this woman made where she couldn't help but to take an indirect shot at Elon Musk because, of course, because they're programmed now to think Elon bad. I bet 5 years ago she was thinking Elon good. She probably today waking up thinking Dick Cheney was a great vice president, even though all those years they would say that Dick Cheney was a horrible person and a warmonger, which he was and still is. But today, because of the NPC download now, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. These people have no actual working brain to do any thinking for themselves.
Seems fair to say that the character design team probably could have done a better job. Like, there wasn't a single design that really looked good in that game. And pretty much everybody, including myself, won't always do our best work. Sometimes we mess up, sometimes we make mistakes, and that's a normal thing to have happen on occasion. So I do think it's a little tacky for this person to bring up like, oh, our livelihoods are at risk, as if no one's allowed to criticize the character roster of this AAA game. Like, I don't want anyone's livelihood to be at risk, but come on, that's like a guilt-trippy, tacky move. We all need to make an income. That doesn't mean that if we do a bad job on something, no one's allowed to say anything about it. You surely get the point, so I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think.
It's unbelievable. So Smash JT, who's going through his own stuff right now with Black Girl Gamers and striking his channel, go over and check out his tweets about it. And he does have a video breaking it down as to what's going on with that. Absolutely insane. But Firewalk Studios, the studio behind the impending Concord flop, has serious internal issues. one of their devs, Lisa Brown, who is in protected mode, came out as non-binary and forced everyone at the company to call her professor. She would regularly have meetings with cheesy phrases like teaching, learning with the professor. She pushed extreme politics, hated guns, and wanted unvaxxed staff fired. This is just part of why Concord is such a delusional mess. I found out a lot more about the studio just waiting for confirmation before going public with this other stuff. This is it, man. Like, this is where we are. This game is the biggest failure in the history of video games. I want to repeat that one more time. Concord is the biggest failure in the history of video games. And the people that worked on it, are playing the fake victim. 8 years, $250 million. Failed quicker than anything we've ever seen, and apparently it's all the chud's fault. It's all those racist and sexist. It's those people's fault. Has nothing to do with you, because responsibility is not part of the equation. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Don't forget to go check us out over on Locals if you're interested. Follow Geeks and Gamers over there. I'll have a link in the description below. And check us out on 221B Tactical in the Geeks Gamers merch store, where you can go get yourself the IDOT new mascot for Geeks and Gamers, the IDOT t-shirt for the San Antonio meetup, and the Geeks and Gamers 199 Flex Fit hat. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.